राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा बनचारी। यमुना तीरा बनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा बनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। प्रभुपाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 24, verse number 47 to 53. So these are the prayers by King Satyavrat on Kalduta on boat. Um, actually, when this inundation happened, so this was not planned inundation. This was not scheduled inundation. This happened just because Supreme Personality of Godhead wanted to show His mercy on King Satyavrat, just to establish him as Manu, next Manu. And generally, this pralaya does not happen at the end of reason of any Manu. It happens in every night of Brahma. An entire day of Brahma has 14 Manu. But this inundation happened when it was 6th Manu, who was Chakshusha Manu. So first inundation happened when it was Swambhu Manu. Because that time, Swambhu Manu was cursed by, I think, Agastya Muni. So he saw pralaya that time. And that time as well, Lord came as a Matsya and he retrieved Vedas from ocean. And this time, it happens just because Krishna wants to show his mercy to King Satyavrat. So Krishna came, Supreme Personality of Godhead came twice in this day of Brahma, in this kalpa of Brahma. And the thing is, when Bhagwan came as Matsya Roop, so he told him that when this water will come, when this pralaya will happen, then you will see boat. And in that boat, you have to gather all the seeds, all the pair of creature and all the rishis, Saptarishi, and you have to get down in that boat, climb in that boat, and this will go until this pralaya will subside, and then the new creation will happen. So we can imagine, if you see 12th canto, the final devastation happen when final devastation comes, because in this, I think Prabhuji has already explained that when inundation is about to happen, it started raining and ocean started swelling up and the water started spreading out everywhere. And that's when they saw boat and they climbed on that. But at the time of final devastation, it's much more horrible. What happened? Because everything was supposed to end at this time in the final devastation. And at this moment, only 3 lokas were submerging in the water: Bhu, Bhuvar, and Swargalok, until Devta. So we'll talk about what happened to Devta in a little bit. But in final devastation, first it is the entire universe start heating up very, very much. Means like from bottom and top for 100 years. And if you can see, like sun is its full strength. It's emerging heat. And from the bottom, from Patal Lok, Anantashesh also, he is taking out his fire from his mouth. And everything starts burning for 100 years. So who will survive? No one will survive. And after it happens for 100 years, after that, then rain start coming for another 100 years. So everything is like totally submerged. And then it happens for 100 years, and then after that, a new yuga come, and it happens for billions of years, many years, not like 2 years, 3 years. Even Markandeya Rishi, if you all know, that in Jagannath Puri there is a tree where, Jagannath, after leaving Jagannath temple, there is Lord Jagannath deity, the bigger deity. Who takes care? No, inside the temple. Who takes care of Jagannath temple? So in front of that Jagannath, there is a tree. In that, if they allow you to go into, there is a small temple. It's like Kalpa Vriksha. And there, if you see inside, there is a deity of Lord Krishna in Bal form. He is lying on a leaf. So that is so beautiful. So this darshan was given to Markandeya Rishi during the pralaya time. Actually, he saw Lord Krishna and he wanted to see his Maya. Am I audible? So he wanted to see his Maya. So then it happens that this pralaya, he showed the showcase of pralaya, and he was like uh, moving around in that water for billions of years, not like million of years, billions of years. Like big animals were chasing him, rain were pouring like pillars, and he was like so scared for billions of years. So he was facing Lord's Maya. So then he saw on one. This is what vraksh? What vraksh? No, what vraksh? In, in banyan tree. Yeah. So he saw banyan tree. There he saw Bal Gopal, Krishna, lying on a leaf. And then he saw inside his mouth, seeing himself like doing all the austerity in the ashram. He went there and he came outside again in the water. And then everything subsided. So that was a showcase for fire for him. So that's how we can imagine the final devastation is going to. Everything will be destroyed. And now, in this time, when this devastation came, so it came in very smoothing form. And it happens on three loka, as I told, like Bhu means Prithvi, Bhuvar, little upper layer, and Swargalok. So what happened to Devtas when this pralaya happened? So they go to Meherlok just to save themselves. And all the rishis and Devta, they go to Meherlok, and after that they go to Brahmalok. And when Brahma's life ends, then if they are qualified, they also go back to Godhead. Otherwise, they have to be there. So now when Bhagwan Hari told Satyavrat, King Satyavrat, that you should climb on that boat. But what was that boat? Does a normal wood has a capacity to accommodate all the living entity and like bear the force of this kind of water? Does that simple boat has that capacity? No. So this boat was the special boat. Who was that boat? Does anybody know? So Prithvi Devi took the form of boat. And since she is a eternal consort of Lord Vishnu, so she has all the capacity. So Bhagwan has three consorts. Yeah, Bhudevi, Leela Devi, and Lakshmi Devi. So Bhudevi came as a boat, and she accommodated all the people. Here. What is the word? 47. So when they were on the boat, so before that, when they were waiting for, the king was waiting for this devastation. So he was meditating on ocean shore and everything started happen and they all climbed on that boat. And then when that boat was started fluctuating more, then he saw Vasuki. Krishna says so my question is, does Vasuki has that much strength to tie a boat of which is carrying like a huge amount of all the population to Lord's horn? How does he get that strength? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Naganam Asmi Vasuki. So whatever is the best is Krishna. So he has that strength because of Krishna, because he is Krishna. Krishna, if we see everything, even taste in water is Krishna. Because when we are thirsty, which thing help us in subsiding our thirst? Only water. If you are going to get juice, you are not going to have that relief. Sometime my kids, they are very thirsty and they think that drinking milk is going to help them. They drink milk, and immediately after drinking milk, they say, can we have water? I said, you just now had milk. How you are going to drink water? It's not good as well. But they say, we are thirsty. And when I give them water, they drink entire glass. They are so much thirsty. So even milk cannot subside, which is a good drink to take, which is very healthy, healthier than water. So these things which is designated to particular purpose, they are going to do their thing. So Vasuki has a strength of Krishna, so which can tie a boat to the Lord's horn. So they tie Vasuki from one end to as anchor. It worked as an anchor. So one side of a boat and to another side of Matsya's horn. And then it is said that when king saw all these things, he started praying to the Lord. And it happens when we pray. Sometimes we think that what we should pray. So what is actually prayer? If we think about prayers, we learned so many prayers from Bhagavatam. And what it is actually, if we see Kunti prayer, so what was her situation when she was praying? Was she happy? Was she enjoying? Was she dying? Was she wanted to save her kingdom? She was suffering. It's the intention of prayer what Krishna sees. Her daughter-in-law, let's talk about her later. Her immediate son, they were defeated in the Kuru's assembly, like anything. They were so much humiliated. And they were supposed to rule that kingdom, but they were betrayed. And her daughter-in-law, who is the respect of her family, she was tried to be naked in the assembly of respectable people. What bad could happen than this situation? Nothing bad. Even that time, when Draupadi tried to ask for help to those people who were protector, who were the so-called protector of her, but anybody of them were not able to protect her. Whatever was the reason, I don't want to get into that. So they were not able to protect her. Finally, she was holding a side of her sari like this. She was asking for the help and she was trying to protect herself. Then finally she gave up. And when she gave up, then she put her hand up and said, Hey Govind. The prayer is like Govinda Dwarakavasi. But Govinda word comes first. And in Govinda, Go comes first. So as soon as Krishna understood the intent of her prayer, intent of her heart, he did not wait that Draupadi should finish her prayer complete. No. Krishna is not impressed by our shlokas. Krishna is impressed by our intention. So she started saying, Go. And as soon as she said go, then Krishna appeared. And when Krishna appeared, he did not wait for anything. Now Krishna is there. And Dushashan is pulling, and he is giving sari. And he protected, and he was so tired. Just because Krishna accepted her heart prayer. That's how we can pray. In whatever situation we are in, Krishna is there to protect us. But we just need to turn towards him. Krishna is always waiting for us. Whether it is Maharaj Satyavrat or Bhishma Dev. We can see Bhishma Dev. He was dying. But he was not longing for anything like, I should get my life back. I should not get this kingdom back. I should not get... can I see my father once? Can I see my mother once? Can I see Pandava once? He wanted to see Lord Krishna. And who was that? What was that relationship he was having? He was having a relationship of chivalry. That means like he was having a relation of fighting with Krishna. Sometimes when we love our kids, like Mataji loves Jaishnav, as a motherly love. She does not want to fight with Jaishnav, right? Similarly, Bhishma Dev does not want to love Krishna as a mother or a father. He want to fight with Krishna. And in that fighting, he want to enjoy. He is seeking that enjoyment because that was his vow. That Krishna, I take a vow that you will lift a weapon. Because Krishna had taken a vow that he is not going to lift a weapon. And his relationship was, I'm going to break your vow. So this was his relation. So he used the word Vijay Sakhe. Hey, friend of Vijay. Who is Vijay? Arjuna. So he wanted to see a friend of Krishna, friend of Arjun. And during, not like in Dwarka playing something and lying down and this and that. No, he wanted to see him as a chariot driver of Krishna. He wanted to, it's not all about it. He wanted to see Gopinath, the Lord of Gopis. So he has all the feelings. He knew about Krishna in every way. Because he knew that what kind of rasa he had with Gopis, what kind of rasa he had with Brajvasis, what kind of rasa he had with Krishna, Arjun. So he wanted to see that Krishna. And as soon as he finished his prayer, Krishna came. Because Krishna fulfilled his intention. So again, this is our intention. My Guru Maharaj says, Krishna does not wait for your prayer to be finished. Krishna always there in your heart. I was talking to a devotee yesterday. He was saying, Krishna reside in our heart as a Paramatma. He does not reside outside. He's not sitting outside. How you are doing outside, he does not see that. How you are doing inside, that he sees. Because inside nobody can see. So here, and one more thing, like Dhruv Maharaj. We all know Dhruv Maharaj. When he saw Lord Narayan, how he was bewildered, right? He went there by what intention? Can anybody tell? Can Jaishnav tell? To get a kingdom greater than his grandparents, grandparents, to whoever is there superior in his kingdom. But as soon as he saw Lord Vishnu, and Bhishma Dev says, Tribhuvan Kamanam Tamal Varnam Ravikar Gaur Varambaram Vadane. See, Krishna is so beautiful. We can see the pictures and we are not so attracted by pictures so much because these are made by human. Because human will put whatever he has in his mind. But Krishna is beyond our mind. Real Krishna is so attractive that whatever intention we have, if we see him, everything will be gone. Because Krishna is not material. And whatever we have in our heart is material. So we will be, Rupa Goswami says that if you don't want to stay this material world, if you want to stay in this material world, don't go to Keshi Ghat. And if you go to Keshi Ghat, don't look for Tribhanga Lalit form. So he's saying this because of by his perspective, because he can see Krishna face to face in real. Even if we go to Keshi Ghat, when we went there, I tried to see where is that Tribhanga Lalit form, but I could not see because we are material. So what I was saying, when Bhishma Dev saw Krishna, Dhruv Maharaj saw Krishna face to face. He was so immersed in his appearance. He was so beautiful. Even Gopi, when they used to see Krishna, they were not seeing Krishna in full. Whatever part of body they were seeing, they just kept looking. It's so beautiful and attractive. Each part of body is so beautiful. Then you cannot move your eyes from that part to another part. So Krishna is so beautiful. So he was so immersed and engrossed in Krishna's appearance that he even forgot that how to pay his obeisances. What to talk about starting prayers. Then Krishna understood. Krishna did not hear his prayer this time. He understood the intent. What was the intent in his heart? To get the kingdom higher than his kinsmen, his family lineage. So he was stuck there on earth. It was like, "Dhruv Maharaj, nahi, he will be here till like this universe is like finished." So he got Dhruv Loka by mercy of Lord Vishnu. So Bhagwan fulfilled his desire in that way. So now here, King Satyavrat, his intention is like, in this ocean of devastation, how I can survive, how I can motivate myself. So he is praying to Lord. And now one more thing, that these seven rishis, when they were here, so they were doing Krishna Katha. They were not passing time like anything. Means, how can we how can we think of surviving in such a situation? Recently, we went to the boat, Boston, in Jalduta boat, and as it started, the boat started shaking, and I have little bit motion sickness. Means I cannot stay in such situation for longer time. So this type of situation is not pleasant at all. So he was sitting in that boat for billions, I don't know, billions of years if they have mentioned, for many, many years. Not like 2 year, 3 year, 10 year, 100 year, maybe more than that. So many, many years he was sitting in the boat, and you can understand the situation of his heart, how to come out of that situation. So he started praying to the Lord. And now we will start reading. So what he is praying. I think we should read from text 46 because this is a starting of prayer instead of 47.
By the grace of the Lord, the king said, by the king said, by the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who because of this ignorance are involved in material conditioned life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master.
See, the thing is, we are so much involved in this material world, and now he is seeing inundation. We should see the present situation. We try to enjoy, we try to make friends, we try to get settled in this material world, making big, big houses, buying new car, and making big, big friend circle, family circle, and as if we are going to stay here forever. And here king is saying, because he is seeing that devastation of this entire earth, so he is saying the temporary nature of this material world. So that is the reason he is saying all these things. What? By grace of Lord, those who have lost their self knowledge. Why this is self knowledge? Because this is the knowledge within us, not outside knowledge. Since time immemorial, and who because of this ignorance are involved in material and conditioned life full of misery. So he is sad about those people who are too much engrossed. I'm not saying I'm not engrossed. I feel like I'm more engrossed than anybody else. So he is telling about those people, telling about me, that this conditioned life is full of misery. Obtain the chance to meet a Lord's devotee. How? By the grace of Lord. Like Narad Muni, when he came in the contact of Balmiki, Ungli Maldaku. I think Narad Muni ji gave him darshan, or four Kumaras gave him darshan. Any of them. The main thing is devotee, exalted devotee gave him. His life transformed. He understood that for whoever he is doing all these things, they are because they ask him, is your family going to help you in dividing these sins, whatever you are doing? He says, of course, why not? I'm doing all these things for my family. He says, go and ask. When he asked his family, they said, no. Why? We are just enjoying our fruit, and this happens. Huh? there is a contradiction in different shastra. Somewhere it is four Kumaras, or somewhere it's not. And it could be Kalpabheda. It's not like Shastra. So things are on the basis of Shastra or on the basis of Karma. So then he was shocked that they are not going to divide my sin. They are not going to take it. So then he realized that whatever he is saying, whatever sin he is taking, whom he is taking for. So that is the reason he became enlightened. And now we can see he wrote he wrote Valmiki Rama. He took care of Sita Devi, loved Kush. How great devotee he became, a historical devotee, just by the mercy of devotee. So that's how mercy of devotee. Even if we are materially embedded, they are going to pick us up if we are in their way. If we came in their way, they are going to see us and lift us up, pick us up, and help. So I accept that Supreme Lord as a supreme spiritual master.
In hopes of becoming happy in this material world, the foolish, conditioned soul performs fruitive activities that result only in suffering. But by rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from such false desires for happiness. May my Supreme Spiritual Master cut the knot of false desires from the core of my heart.
See, if we read these prayers, we can understand the heart of whoever is praying. So he is trying to educate us that this material world is not going to make us happy. Whatever we are going to, whatever endeavor we are going to put, the only thing is going to make us happy is nothing else. When we are small, we try to enjoy our life. We try to play around. We try to do stuff which makes us happy always. And when we grow older, we get married because we are looking for that happiness. We have kids. We try to find that enjoyment in them. But ultimately, when everything is frustrated, we see that nothing is going to work to make it. Because every other thing is giving us pain more than happiness. And whatever happiness we get, it's temporary. It's just temporary. So after that, we take shelter of Krishna. Yesterday only I was thinking this morning, like entire life we try to enjoy, and like we did this, we saw this, we one time I we try to do stuff in our life to make us happy. And now we are in ISKCON, we are following Srila Prabhupada, we are trying to please Krishna. We are not doing those stuff anymore. Why? Because this is not ultimate happiness. This is ultimate happiness. And whoever is here, they are so fortunate from their beginning of their life. If they can maintain it, that's a most fortunate situation. All the kids. If you guys can maintain it, nothing like that. But it's okay. Don't feel pressure. But this is the ultimate surrender. This is the ultimate share. That's what Satyavrat, King Satyavrat is.
One who wants to be free of material entanglement should take the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and give up the contamination of ignorance involving pious and impious activity. Thus, one regains his original identity just as a block of gold or silver sheds all dirt and becomes purified when treated with fire. May that inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead become our spiritual master, for he is the original spiritual master of all other spiritual masters.
He's a preceptor. He's Adi Guru. When we come in the contact of our Adi Guru, our Guru, then we become purified by his mercy. Like Jagai Madai. There was no such sin what they haven't committed. They were reading Vedas. For what? For enlightenment? Can anybody tell that why they were reading Vedas, Shastras? They were reading Vedas just to find out which sin they can do, which activity they can do to hurt others. All the activity, they were plundering, they were what not they are doing, but they didn't do one thing. They didn't do Vaishnava Prad, because that is the biggest. Why? Why Vaishnav offend a Vaishnav is a big offense? Because they have Krishna in their heart. And at whatever level they are practicing bhakti, they are trying to please. They are trying their best. Because we are all conditioned. And in that conditioning, we are still trying. So they didn't do that aparadh. But when they came in the contact of Adi Guru, who they came into contact with? Can anybody tell? Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, two exalted Vaishnava. Nityananda is a Balram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to kill them, but he holded his feet. He showed his mercy by praying against Lord. Lord, please don't kill them. Otherwise, your purpose of coming to this material world will not be fulfilled, because you are not here to kill. You are here to liberate by your mercy. Who prayed? Guru prayed. Like we all have Srila Prabhupada. All our Guru, they initiate us on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said that do your bhakti, try to do your bhakti at least 70%. I have a back door key. Why he says, I'm here. Put your endeavor. Try your best. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to take you. And we have to have faith. Until we have faith, nothing is going to work out. This is the matter of faith only. We have to have faith on our Guru. He is going to protect us. That's what he is saying. That when we are free of this entanglement, like gold and silver are purified by that fire, we will be purified. Yes, next.
Neither all the demigods, nor the so-called gurus, nor all other people, either independently or together, can offer mercy that equals even 1/10,000 of yours. Therefore, I wish to take shelter of your lotus feet.
Yes. By taking shelter of demigod, everything is not going to fulfill. Because sometime what had happens during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, before he came, that everybody was so much into Durga Puja, demigod worship, Kali Puja, that their Shastra, their Bhagavatam, their Bhagavad Gita, everything was based on Durga Puja, Karma Khanda. There was not even a slight mention of about devotional service. Means they were spending their money for what? To getting monkey married, to get cats married, to get dogs married. They were too much into sense gratification. Can we imagine that how would be the situation that time? All the devotees, they were neglected. They used to say, Srivas Thakur, that we are going to break his house and put it in Ganges. They were so much averse towards him. So demigod, karmkanda, all these things are not going to make us fulfilled in our life. Because whatever benediction they are going to give us, that is going to be temporary. How? We can take the example of, although Shiva is not demigod, we can take the example of Lord Shiva. When he benedicted, I think he was Mura demon, that if he keep hand on someone, he will be destroyed. And then that demon became attracted to Parvati, and he started running after Lord Shiva, and he was in the trap of his own benediction. He was running for his life. Does we observe all these things in the benediction given by Lord Vishnu? No. There is no discrepancy in the benediction of Lord Vishnu. Indra, when he killed Vishwarup, then by doing Brahmahatya, that a Rakshashi came and he was running for his life. All these demigod, Indra is a king, Indradev is a king of all demigod. If a king of demigod is running for his life, they are always defeated by a demon. Are they going to fulfill our desire for good? They are not. They are always, whenever they are in trouble, even during Bali Maharaj time, they went to Brahma and they went to Vishnu Lok, churning of ocean and everything. So ultimately, we all have to come to the contact of Lord Vishnu. So why not from today? We should be in direct worship of Lord Vishnu. We should always pray for whatever we want, he will fulfill if he sees that this is good for us. Like parents. Always kids cry for something another. And they see that if this particular thing is not going to harm our kid, then they fulfill. Because sometimes they are not so strict. Sometimes they are, sometimes not. Krishna is like. So they are saying, Satyavrat king is saying, neither all demigod nor so-called guru, not so-called guru, not guru, so-called guru. Guru who is not connected to parampara. Whoever is calling themselves guru without even connected with any particular parampara. Or all people, either independently or together, can offer mercy as equal even 1/10,000 of yours. They cannot. Only Bhagwan can show. Krishna is 50.
As a blind man being unable to see accepts another blind man as his leader. People who do not know the goal of life accept someone as a guru who is a rascal and a fool. But we are interested in self-realization. Therefore, we accept you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as our spiritual master. For you are able to see in all directions and are omniscient like the sun.
But we'll read 825. We'll read 51. But let's read only 2 lines of this purport. The conditioned soul being wrapped in ignorance and therefore not knowing the goal of life, except Guru who can juggle words and make some display of magic that is wonderful to a fool. So this is our mistake. When we choose wrong Guru, this is not their mistake. Because everybody is trying to do something or other to survive. We have to have knowledge. If we cannot discriminate, that is our problem, not society's problem. So that is the reason Prabhupada is saying fool. We are fool. Because we are wrapped in ignorance. Because ignorance is also a sin. It's not an excuse. It's a sin. So we have all the Shastra and we are capable of reading. If not we are capable of reading, then we should hear Harikatha. We should go in the class and hear from others who knows. So this ignorance we have to get rid of. Text 51, I'll read. Jano janasya dishate asatim gatim yaya prapadyet duratyayam tamah tvam tvachayam jnanam amogamanjasa prapadyate yena jano nijam padam. Word to word meaning. Sorry. Janaha, a person who is not, everybody can do it together. Janaha, a person who is not bona fide guru. Janasya, of an ordinary person who does not know the goal of life. Adi shate, instruct. Asatim, impermanent, material. Gatim, the goal of life. Yaya, by such knowledge. Prapadyate yeta, he surrenders. Duratyayam, insurmountable. Tamha, to ignorance. Tvam, your lordship. To, but. Avyayam, indestructible. Jnanam, knowledge. Amogham, without material contamination. Anjasa, very soon. Prapadyate, achieves. Yena, by such knowledge. Janaha, a person. Nijam, by his own. Padam, original position. Translation. A materialistic so-called guru instructs his materialistic disciple about economic development and sense gratification. And because of such instruction, the foolish disciple continue in materialistic existence of ignorance. He is already ignorant, but by such ignorance, by such instructions, he again emerged into more ignorance. He goes into more ignorance. But your lordship gives knowledge that is eternal, and the intelligent person receiving such knowledge is quickly situated in his original constitutional position. So we are recommended to be knowledgeable, intelligent, not foolish. Purport. So-called guru instruct their disciple for the sake of material profit. Some guru advises that one may meditate in such a way that his intelligence will increase in regard to keeping his body fit for sense gratification. Another guru advises that sex is the ultimate goal of life and that one should therefore engage in sex to best of his ability. And you know Charvak philosophy? Everybody knows Charvak philosophy? There was some Charvak philosophy that you have to enjoy this life for the fullest. Yeah. Get ghee, you should do whatever you can. No. These are the instruction of foolish gurus. In other words, because of the instruction of foolish guru, one remain perpetually in material existence and suffer its tribulation. Yes, because this is our mistake, not anybody else. And that is the reason Prabhupada's philosophy, Prabhupada's mood and mission is preaching. That is the reason he is preparing all of us to show the mercy of Lord Krishna, to take this mercy to Lord Krishna, of Lord Krishna to everywhere, wherever they need mercy. That is why preaching is very important rather than Nirjan Bhajan. Because Nirjan Bhajan is going to help only one person. But preaching is going to help the entire ignorant material world. And Harinam. But if one is intelligent enough to take instruction from Supreme Lord as enunciated in Bhagavad Gita or Sankhya philosophy of Kapil Dev, Kapil Muni, Devhuti's son, one can very soon attain liberation. And this Kapil Muni, this Kapil Dev is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why they have mentioned Sankhya philosophy here. And be situated in his original position of spiritual life. The word Nijam Padam are significant. The living entity being part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead has birthright to a position in the Vaikuntha Lok or spiritual world where there is no anxiety. Therefore, one should follow the instruction of Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then as is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti, so Arjuna, after giving up one's body, one will return home back to Godhead. The Lord lives in a spiritual world in his original personality, and a devotee who follows the instruction of Lord approaches him, Mam eti. As a spiritual person, such devotee returns to personality of Godhead and play and dance with him. That is the ultimate goal of life. Srila Prabhupada was in such a situation in Vrindavan. And why did he leave Vrindavan? He was doing his bhakti. He was very happy. He was with Krishna all the time. He was in Dham. Just to show mercy to those materialistic people, those who are ignorant. Because everybody is not so educated. Educated means spiritually educated. Even materialistic, big materialistic educated people, they fall into trap of in so-called guru. We can be amazed. Big personalities. How they are doing? They look so foolish. But just because they don't have that knowledge. That is why they don't act like intelligent people. Yesterday I was seeing a video of Tamal Krishna Maharaj preaching in Fiji. He has 2 videos like that, 2 lectures like that. And everybody is saying that this is God, this is God. He put the picture on the wall, Shiva, Durga, Ganesha, this and that. And he said, he called for a people that who they believe that they are God and they don't have picture here. I should not take name here. But they took the name of one personality and he was so furious. What makes him God? He says because he can produce gold. That is why he's God. So all these things, we are so educated. Still we become fool by all these things. We went to Boston, there everybody, all Prabhupada disciples were there. And we saw their emotion. They are so emotionally connected with Srila Prabhupada. And I can feel that whatever they are doing, how they are well connected with Srila Prabhupada. That's why they are putting, even though they are so old. And in my age, I am not 60. But even after that, I am having like health issues, health challenges. And I feel like I cannot do this service, I cannot do that thing. But even after, they all are not 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus. They are doing so much for Srila Prabhupada to propagate his mission of preaching. Because they are so much well connected to him, to his purport, to his books, that they understood the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. So we all should take inspiration from them and try to help Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Please forgive me if I have committed any offense against all of you, and if I have said something which is not pleasing to anyone. And I just spoke by keeping Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada in heart, as their representative. Nothing came from my personal. Nothing is my personal point of view. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Pancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय।